The rain fell in heavy sheets, soaking her shoulders as she stepped through the towering glass doors of the Empire Grand Hotel. Her coat clung to her like a second skin, damp and frayed at the edges. People in suits and silk dresses gave her quick, dismissive glances as they passed, like she didn't belong. Maybe she didn't. She walked up to the front desk, her voice calm, almost too quiet to hear over the distant piano music playing in the lobby. "Good evening. I'd like a room for the night." The man behind the desk barely looked up. His name tag read Elliot. His smile was trained, the kind you offer out of politeness, not warmth. "I'm sorry, ma'am. We're fully booked." She glanced at the keycards hanging behind him. Most were still there. "Are you sure?" she asked, her tone steady but with a flicker of challenge. "Even a single room?" Elliot hesitated, then leaned slightly forward, lowering his voice. "Our guests expect a certain standard. Maybe you'd be more comfortable somewhere less exclusive." The words hit harder than any thunder outside. Her fingers tightened around the strap of her bag. "Is that so?" she said slowly, then reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a gold ring. Not just any ring, a diamond centerpiece that sparkled even in the lobby's soft light. She placed it gently on the counter. "I think Mr. Haysworth would be very interested to hear how you treat his wife." Elliot froze. The fake smile vanished. The hum of the lobby seemed to hush. Elliot stood frozen, eyes locked on the ring like it might explode. "Mr. Haysworth," he repeated, his voice suddenly brittle. She nodded once, her gaze unwavering. "Arthur Haysworth. My husband." The air changed instantly. A bellhop stopped mid-stride. The concierge peeked from behind the computer. People were watching, curious, confused, maybe even nervous. Elliot's hands moved quickly now, flustered, as he picked up the phone. "Please, just one moment, Mrs. I'll get the manager." She didn't answer. She didn't need to. He disappeared into the back like a man sprinting for safety. She remained still, her soaked coat dripping onto the marble floor. A woman in a red dress whispered something to her partner, eyes flicking over with judgment, or was it recognition? Minutes later, a tall man in a navy suit emerged. Silver at his temples, phone still in hand, voice low but urgent. "Yes, I understand. No, I had no idea. She's here, yes, right here." He hung up and approached her, his face a mask of courtesy stretched over confusion. "Mrs. Haysworth," he said. She turned to him. "Finally. Someone who's not pretending I don't exist." He swallowed. "Please, come with me." Without a word, she followed him across the lobby, past curious stares, into the private elevator reserved for VIP guests and, ironically, owners' families. As the doors closed, he glanced at her again. I thought Mr. Haysworth was in Switzerland this week." She gave a half-smile. "He was. But plans change. Especially when wives find out what their husbands are hiding." The elevator hummed quietly as it rose, floor by floor. The manager, Mr. Caldwell, stood stiffly beside her, hands clasped in front of him like he was bracing for a storm. She didn't say a word. Her eyes were fixed on the numbers above the door. 27, 28, 29. Ding! They stepped into the penthouse hallway, all dark wood, gold fixtures, and silence. Caldwell unlocked the door and gestured for her to enter. "If there's anything you need." "I'll manage," she said sharply, stepping inside. He nodded once and left without another word. The door clicked shut. She was alone now. But not really. Every corner of the suite reminded her of him. Arthur. The smell of his cologne still lingered in the air. A half-finished glass of scotch sat on the sideboard. His suitcase, open on the bed, confirmed what she already knew: he'd been here recently. Not in Switzerland. Not in meetings. Here. And she wasn't. She walked to the massive window overlooking the city and pressed her fingers to the glass. How many lies can a person build before the truth cracks through? Her phone buzzed. A message. From a number she didn't recognize. You shouldn't have come. He'll never forgive you for this. Her breath caught. She stared at the screen, heart pounding. Then another message came in. Meet me in the bar. 20 minutes. Come alone. She changed quickly. Her soaked coat and worn boots were gone, replaced by a sleek black dress she found still hanging in the penthouse closet, a gift from Arthur, tagged still on. Ironic, really. He once said she'd never need to wear black again. Now she wore it like armor. The hotel bar was dimly lit, full of quiet jazz and quieter conversations. Couples in cocktail attire murmured over expensive drinks. Nobody noticed her at first. She moved like a shadow, slipping onto a stool at the end of the bar, back to the wall, just like her father taught her. 20 minutes. Then, almost exactly on time, he appeared. A man in his late 30s. Immaculate suit. Nervous eyes. He didn't sit, just stood nearby, pretending to look over the cocktail menu while watching her through the corner of his eye. She spoke without turning. You sent the messages. He hesitated. Then sat beside her. I wasn't sure you'd actually come, he said. I shouldn't have to come. I should have been told. Who are you? Name's Julian, he said. I work for your husband. Her lips tightened. Of course you do. He glanced around, then leaned in slightly. Look, this isn't just about the hotel. It's bigger. Arthur's in trouble. The kind of trouble that ruins people. Or buries them. She narrowed her eyes. Why tell me? Julian didn't answer right away. Instead, he slid a small black envelope onto the bar. This was meant for you. He wrote it a week ago, but never sent it. She stared at the envelope. Her name written in Arthur's bold handwriting. Inside? Maybe answers. Or maybe just more lies. She stared at the envelope like it might bite. Julian slid back, watching her with a flicker of guilt, or was it fear? She peeled it open slowly. Inside was a single sheet of thick stationery, the hotel's crest embossed in gold at the top. Arthur's handwriting, unmistakable, bold, deliberate, a little too perfect. If you're reading this, it means I didn't tell you the truth in time. And I'm sorry. There are things I've done to build this empire, things you would never have agreed to. I kept you away to protect you, or maybe to protect myself. But if they're coming for me now, they might come for you too. There's a safe behind the painting in the penthouse. Inside it is everything, the documents, the names, the accounts. You always saw the real me, even when I didn't. That's why you're the only one I trust to decide what happens next. Her hands trembled slightly. Not from fear, from rage. From heartbreak. He hadn't trusted her at all. Not when it mattered. She folded the letter and slipped it back into the envelope. I need to get back to the penthouse, she said. Julian reached for her arm. Wait. She pulled away, voice low and sharp. Why are you really helping me? He hesitated. Then finally said, because if you go down, they'll come after all of us. Arthur had secrets, dangerous ones. And someone in this hotel already knows you're here. She froze. Who? Before he could answer, a loud crack echoed from the far side of the bar, glass shattering. Gasps. Screams. A bottle had exploded behind the counter. Or, had it been shot? She didn't wait to find out. She ran. She slammed the penthouse door shut behind her, chest rising and falling with adrenaline. Somewhere below, sirens wailed faintly. The hotel was pretending everything was fine, but she knew better now. Someone didn't want her reading that letter. Someone knew exactly who she was. She crossed the suite in a few long strides, eyes locking onto the painting above the fireplace, a ridiculous oil of Arthur standing on a yacht like he owned the ocean. She yanked it off the wall. Behind it, a safe. The keypad blinked. She stared at it. Of course he wouldn't make it simple. She tried their wedding anniversary. Rejected. Tried his birthday. Rejected. Then she tried hers. Click. Inside, it was cramped but organized, stacks of documents, a small ledger, several USB drives, and a gun. She stared at it. Arthur never believed in keeping guns. Said they complicated things. Something had changed. She grabbed everything and dropped it into her bag. Then she opened the ledger. Page after page of names. Amounts. Locations. Some crossed out in red. Some circled. All written in Arthur's hand. A knock at the door made her freeze. 3 slow knocks. Not hotel staff. She stepped back quietly, reached for the gun, hard hammering. Another knock, followed by a voice, low and steady. You don't want to be alone right now. It was Julian. She moved slowly toward the door, unsure whether to believe him, but another sound stopped her cold. The click of the elevator down the hall. Someone else was coming up. She didn't open the door. Instead, she backed away, gun in hand, eyes flicking between the entrance and the elevator down the hall, which was still climbing. Julian's voice came through the door again, quieter this time. Listen to me. You're not safe in there. Whoever's coming up, it's not security. It's not police. It's them. She hesitated. Who's them, Julian? She called out. Silence. Then. Arthur owed people. Not the kind of people who take kindly to unfinished business. If you have what was in the safe, you need to leave. Now. Ding. The elevator arrived. Footsteps. Heavy. Deliberate. More than one person. She had seconds to decide. She pulled the door open. Julian's face was pale, sweat beading at his hairline. His eyes went to the bag in her hand. Do you have it? She nodded once. Then come with me, he said, already moving. Stairs. Now. They ran. Down 2 flights, into a restricted maintenance corridor. The walls were bare concrete, and the lights flickered like something out of a nightmare. Behind them, voices echoed faintly. Male. Foreign. One of them laughed, a sound too calm to mean anything good. They burst through a side exit into an underground garage. Julian led her to a black car, keys already in his hand. Drive, she said. He looked at her. You trust me now? No, she answered, sliding into the passenger seat. But I trust I've got more to lose if I stay. As the car peeled out, a shadowed figure stepped into view in the garage's far corner, phone pressed to his ear. She has it, he whispered. They're heading east. The car sped down the coast highway, tires hissing against wet pavement. City lights blurred in the distance behind them. Ahead, nothing but darkness and the crash of ocean waves. Julian glanced at her. There's a safe house an hour out. No names, no questions. We lay low, then figure out who to trust. She didn't answer. Her fingers were wrapped around one of the USB drives like a trigger. She already seen enough in the documents to know the truth. Arthur hadn't just built an empire, he bought it. With blackmail. With bribes. With silence. And now they wanted it all buried. Along with her. She looked out the window. He told me he was protecting me. But he was really just trying to die with a clean conscience. Julian was quiet. Then, he left you the truth. That counts for something. She turned to him, eyes sharp. Only if I use it. Suddenly, headlights. From behind. A second car. Gaining fast. Julian cursed, slammed the gas. Hold on. A shot rang out. Rear glass shattered. She ducked, heart pounding, clutching the drive to her chest. We're not going to make it to the safe house, he growled. She looked at him, then at the glove box. Pull over. I've got a better idea. He blinked. What? Pull over. He did. The other car screeched to a halt behind them. Two men stepped out. Armed. Confident. They walked forward slowly, expecting compliance. She stepped out of the passenger seat with her hands up, the USB still hidden. One of the men grinned. Smart move. Give it here, sweetheart. She tilted her head. You want this? The whole empire? She held up the USB, then snapped it in half between her fingers. The smile vanished. You just made a very big mistake, the man growled, stepping forward. I don't think so, she said. Because I already uploaded everything. Every account. Every name. Every deal. And it's set to go public in 5 minutes if I don't stop it. His hand twitched toward his gun. Go ahead, she added, stepping closer. Shoot me. Just know, if I die, the whole world finds out what your little empire's built on. He froze. And for the first time, he looked scared. Julian moved behind her, gun drawn. Get in your car. Leave. They didn't need to be told twice. When the tail lights finally vanished into the night, she exhaled slowly. Julian looked at her, stunned. You really uploaded it? She shook her head. No. But they don't know that. He laughed once, quietly. Remind me never to piss you off. She didn't smile. Just stared into the darkness. I didn't come here to be feared, she said. I came to be heard. Final scene. Back at the hotel, early morning. Guests were waking to headlines. Empire Grand Scandal, secret accounts and corruption uncovered in explosive leak. In the penthouse, her ring sat on the counter. Alone. She didn't need it anymore. She had something better. Her name.